Hello, I'm Lisa from Mythical Witchery. Welcome to my channel. If you've been here before, welcome back. Today I'm doing a full flip through and review of the Dark Reflections Tarot, which I recently received. This was a Kickstarter deck. It was launched on the 18th of October 2022 and was very quickly fully funded and wildly successful with over 1,850 backers. This is designed by Ezra of Witchy Design in Slovenia. She is the designer of the Baroque Tarot, the Phantom Tarot, and a number of Lenormand decks as well. I will be putting links to the website in the description box below. So what I have here is everything that was part of the Kickstarter that I personally backed. So I've got the lovely silk tarot cloth here, which I've got folded in half because I've got a small area to film on. The bag and the deck is inside. They included an extra tin as well, which is lovely. This is what I normally store my deck in. It's nice and padded inside and very handy. I find that. For the purposes of this video, however, I have the deck in the clamshell box. It's a really lovely bag too. Look at that. Lined inside. It's very, very nice. And this is the clamshell box. Before I get into that, I'll really quickly show you this. This is the Silver Eye Journal, which was an optional add-on. It's absolutely beautiful. It's textured. And it included journal pages as well, which are all dotted. This, I did not order the pen, but there is space for a pen there and space here for the stickers, which they included. So it is a really lovely, lovely journal. And this is going to get a lot of use. They also made an optional shadow work guide, which I decided to go ahead and purchase, and I'm really glad that I did. This is an outstanding book. Full color. Just have a quick look at the table of contents. So, Introduction to Tarot and Shadow Work, Understanding the Shadow Self, Releasing the Shadow Self, Overcoming Shadow Work Resistance, Tarot and Shadow Work Techniques, Tarot Spreads for Shadow Work. I believe there's about 20 spreads in here. Journaling and Shadow Work, Meditation and Shadow Work, and Tarot Card Meanings for Shadow Work. This can be used with any tarot deck. Although this is specifically designed for the Dark Reflections Tarot, it can be used with any deck. And I'll just really quickly leaf through here so you can get an idea of what this book looks like. It is a really fantastic book. These are the spreads, and there are page after page after page of shadow work spreads. It's astounding. Like I said, I believe there are about 20 spreads. So yes, definitely worth the purchase. Again, not necessary to working with this deck or for doing shadow work, but certainly very, very helpful. So this is the box that was included. Of course, the tin was extra. I love this. You know, I was very fortunate to be part of an email group that they set up to ask questions, have people give their thoughts, vote on different options, and so on. And so in a way, I was one of the lucky ones who got to see the progression of some of this as it went along, decisions that were made. And it was really exciting to see it. And then even more exciting to see it launch on Kickstarter. And then to receive it was, oh my gosh, amazing. So this is a matte box. It's got this spot UV. It's designed to look like a shattered mirror or a broken mirror, which I think is really brilliant. And you can see that. It's got this lovely silver foil stamping. It's got the magnetic clamshell style opening, which is my very favorite style of box. You cannot become the best version of yourself until you love your worst version, because after you give love to your darkness, the light comes, and that is the path to healing. This is the little book that was included with it. Again, it's a lovely little book with the silver foil stamping. It is full color. The front of the book talks a bit about shadow work, gives some spreads, and then goes into the individual suits. So within this book, there are these spreads here. So that's 4. So 4 spreads total in this book. And then it shows what the page looks like and what you can expect. So there's the image of the card, then you get the general card information here, talks about general card meanings, the number of the card, ruling planet, and element, and so on. And then the rest of the page is devoted to shadow work. So for the Fool, for example, shadow traits to explore, distrustful versus trustful, challenges when repressed, lack of structure, doubtfulness, psychologically stuck, avoiding unpleasant truths, no will to try new things, rigidity, growth opportunities when accepted, openness, willingness to take a leap of faith, psychological growth, playfulness, taking risks, accepting new ways, and then questions to ask yourself for journaling. I think this is really brilliant and so helpful. Are you worrying too much? Are you okay with not knowing the answer? Are you living in the moment? Is a cycle ending that gives you a sense of freedom? Are you taking a big risk in your life? So there is so much here that can help you explore your shadow self. And every single card is like this. There are 2 extra cards that were part of the Kickstarter. I'm not sure if these will be available. I think they are releasing these for pre-order as well. I'm not sure if the extra cards will be included in that. I hope so, because they are brilliant. So the first extra card was Shadow, and the second one was Light. So that is the little guidebook. It is a total of 86 pages. Let's get to these cards. Got a little ribbon. They really, that's the inside of the box there. They really did a brilliant job with this deck. Let's look at this coating, first of all. Look at that. It's black, but it's got the rainbow holographic coating on all the sides. It is absolutely gorgeous. These are the backs, and they match the box. They do pick up dust. They show dust quite easily, but you know, I think I've got a little bit of a scratch on that. Yeah, it's just that one card. So really lovely. There is a tiny bit of chipping happening with this. I've used this now for about a week, give or take, and I'm finding a little bit of chipping. It's not anything that's really, really bad or terribly noticeable. It's still really beautiful. So the cards are sized 70 millimeters by 120, which is standard tarot size. In inches, that measures 2 3/4 by a little under 4 3/4. So yes, standard tarot size. There are no borders on the cards, which I really love. It's a 350 GSM art paper. They're relatively flexible. I wouldn't say they're really flexible, but relatively. They are a bit of a stiff card. I'm not sure what core, if any, these have. They may not, in fact, because these aren't art paper. So I am going to, and I'm not an expert, unlike Lisa Pepez from her channel. She's a bit of an expert on cardstock. I'm not. So all I can tell you is how they feel to me. These are matte. You will see a very slight shine from light, but it's definitely a matte coating and not glossy. So I really love that. Easy to photograph. Okay, I'm going to adjust my camera and we'll take a look at the individual cards. Then we'll pull a couple and have a look at what the book says. I'll be right back. All right, so starting with the Fool. I apologize if you can hear some funny noises in the background. My cat is playing with one of his toys. It's quite noisy. The Magician. The High Priestess. The Empress. The Emperor. The Hierophant. The Lovers. The Chariot. Strength. One thing you may have noticed already is that the major arcana does not have numbers. So if that's important to you, you might want to, I know some people will probably just use a little marker and write the numbers on them. It doesn't bother me because I know where they belong. The Hermit. I don't think that's a hill to die on, personally. It wouldn't make me not buy the deck, but your mileage may vary. Wheel of Fortune. Justice. The Hanged Man. Death. Temperance. The Devil. Let's take a second and see how a card like the Devil is handled in the booklet. So the booklet says, this card represents temptation, materialism, addiction, unhealthy attachments, and the need to break free from negative patterns and beliefs that hold one back. So that's the traditional meanings for the card. The shadow traits to explore for this card: love versus fear, Challenges when repressed, centered on fear, lack of self-love, chained to material goods, bonded to negative patterns, victimization, aggression, sexual repression. Growth opportunities when accepted, breaking free from bondage, lightening up, playful, self-love, free will, fostering growth, expressing sexuality, connected to people, and questions to ask. Do you feel afraid? Do you feel tormented? Can you see a dilemma clearly? Are you tempted? Is there an addiction you need to address? Okay, so carrying on. The Tower. The Star. I do find the font a little bit difficult to read. For example, at first glance, this looked like the Scar. Obviously, it's not. But, yeah, the font is not, that it wouldn't have been my choice, but it's all right. It's all right. It's hard to find a deck that's perfect. The Moon. The Sun. Judgment. The World. And moving into the minor arcana, starting with the Wands, we have the Ace. The 2. Three. 4. 5. You'll notice that all of the wands have sort of this burgundy color. The 6 of Wands. I guess technically we could call that red. Almost a purpley red. 7. 8. And see how different this is from a normal 8 of Wands, because in a normal 8 of Wands you've got fast movement, where this is very stuck. This is very stuck in. So this is a really great example of how these cards were designed for the shadow self. Really brilliant. 9 of Wands. The 10. The Page of Wands. The Knight. The Queen. Look at this dead sunflower here. And the King. And moving into the cups, which are blue. That's really interesting, isn't it? Instead of being a cup overflowing with water, you've got a cup that's held upside down and is completely empty. The 2 of Cups. This is by far the best shadow work deck I think I've seen. Three of Cups. There are lots of decks that are good for shadow work, but there are very few that are specifically designed for it. And fewer still that do it as well as this. Four of Cups. Five of Cups. The Six. Seven. The Eight of Cups. Nine of Cups. The 10. Page. The Knight. The Queen. The King. And moving into the swords, all of which will have yellow. And that's the Ace. The 2. Three of Swords. Four. Look at this. Crawling out of the sarcophagus. I'm not sure, is that what you call that, a sarcophagus? Five of Swords. I'm sure someone will correct me below. The 6. The 7 of Swords. The 8. Nine. 10. Page. The Knight. The Queen. And the King. And finally moving into the Pentacles with the Ace. This is, I just wanted to show you this. This shows just a little bit of this chipping at the bottom of that card. You can actually feel it where it's chipped off. It's really unfortunate because it's a beautiful deck other than that. Two of Pentacles. Chipping's not bad. Very few cards have it, but in the long term, I don't know. Am I going to find that a lot more have it? I don't know. I hope not. The Three of Pentacles. the 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, the 9. One thing I've just noticed is that on the Pentacles, all of the coins are upside down. The 10. The Page. The Knight of Pentacles. The Queen. The King. And the extra cards. Shadow. And Light. Okay, let's give these a shuffle. We'll read a couple in the guidebook. Okay, let's see how this shuffles. I don't think I would want to riffle shuffle these because I don't really think that they will bend very well because they are quite a stiff card. However, they don't stick together, they don't clump. And that is important. Okay, let's have a quick look at a couple of cards in the guidebook. So we have the 4 of Swords, this card represents rest, retreat, and recuperation, often indicating a time of recovering from stress and taking a break to recharge and gain perspective. So as you can see, it gives the standard meaning of the card. The number is 4, ruling planet is Jupiter, the sign is Libra, and the element is air. Shadow traits to explore on this card: fatigued versus rejuvenated. Challenges when repressed, broken recovery, dark awakening, re-entering world, release from isolation, restlessness, burnout, feeling stuck, and overthinking. Growth opportunities when accepted, rested, recharged, mindful, relaxed, renewed, slower pace, regrouped, getting away, contemplating, thinking, and patience. And questions to ask. Do you see the bigger picture? Are you fighting battles in your mind? Are you focusing on what is most important to you? Do you allow yourself time to rest and recharge? Are you trying too hard to make something happen? Here, okay, let's do this one. The 6 of Cups. So this is the card. So the guidebook gives the standard meanings. This card represents nostalgia, memories in childhood, often indicating a time of sentimental reflection and finding happiness in simpler times. The number is 6. Ruling planet is the sun. Sign is Scorpio. Element is water. Shadow traits to explore in this card: outdated versus current. Challenges when repressed, stuck in the past, not wanting to change, not moving forward, leaving home, sticking to old beliefs, unwilling to grow, and dependent. Growth opportunities when accepted, creating happy memories, connecting with old friends, anniversaries, celebration, moving forward, having children, and being playful. Questions to ask: what outdated beliefs are you holding on to? Do you have something you want to celebrate? What do you want to grow for the future? Are you really willing to grow? What or who from your past brings you great joy? Okay. So, sharing my final thoughts on this deck. Negatives. There aren't really very many negatives to this deck. I guess you could say the lack of a number on the cards on the major arcana would be a negative, but that's a matter of personal taste. It doesn't bother me at all. I don't find that to be a problem. The little bit of chipping on the edges is a shame, a real shame, because the edging is really beautiful. Here you can see there's that same card. It's got just a little chip there. It does seem to pick up dust, but you know, again, not really a big deal. The edging is so beautiful. It really is pretty. Other than that, I don't really think there's anything negative to say about this deck. Is it a little bit stiff? So it doesn't shuffle quite as well. Maybe from cardstock that would be a little different stock. But again, it's not a hill to die on. It's okay. It's still very, very workable and a very usable deck. What do I like about this deck? I like a lot. I think that the imagery is brilliant. The artwork is really good. It definitely is impactful. The cards are beautiful. They're really, really, truly beautiful. The edging is stunning. The backs, these are probably some of the, let's pick a card that doesn't have a chip. Probably some of the best backs I've seen on a card. Definitely up there with my favorites. I love this deck. I think this is a brilliant shadow work deck. This is going to get a lot of use on a personal level and doing readings for others. So what do you think? Is this a deck that you backed on Kickstarter? Did you think about backing it, but you didn't? Are you wishing you had? Are you thinking about maybe pre-ordering it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions. Share them in the comments down below. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope to see you again soon. If you found this video useful at all, please give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, share it if you'd like, hit the notification bell if you'd like to be notified when I upload videos in the future. So until next time, may love and laughter light your days. Thank you again for joining me. Bye for now.